Hi, everyone, and welcome to Insights in Caribbean Intellectual Property, the official podcast of the Caribbean and America's Intellectual Property Organization. I'm your host, Pete Manning, along with Shauna Joseph. Today's topic is Accelerating the Roadmap for Caribbean Digital Sovereignty. Imagine a world where your cultural identity, your history, your very way of life is being quietly harvested and sold back to you by AI companies. That's exactly what's happening right now in the Caribbean, and it's sparking a revolution in how smaller nations protect their digital sovereignty.
That's a pretty alarming situation. How exactly did we get here?
Well, it's fascinating actually. These big tech companies are treating Caribbean data like it's free for the taking. They're scooping up everything from local literature and music to public records and academic research, all to train their AI systems.
So they're essentially creating a digital version of resource extraction.
Exactly. And that's why people are calling it a digital plantation. Think about it. These companies harvest Caribbean cultural data for free, then sell AI products back to the region at premium prices. It's a modern twist on a very old story.
That must be creating some serious economic implications for the region.
Oh, you better believe it. But here's where it gets interesting. Certain Caribbean scholars aren't taking this lying down. Dr. Abiola Inniss has developed this incredibly smart three-pillar strategy that could actually change the game for how smaller nations deal with AI development.
Tell me more about these pillars. How does Dr. Innes propose that the region fights back?
So the first pillar is brilliant. She has created what she calls a regional sovereign data commons. Instead of each island trying to negotiate with tech giants alone, she says they could pool their digital resources under CARICOM. It's like creating a unified digital territory.
That's actually quite clever. Strength in numbers, right?
Exactly. And she's backing it up with real teeth through her proposal for a CARICOM data trust that would act as a gatekeeper. Any company wanting to use Caribbean data for AI training would have to negotiate with this unified body.
How does Dr. Innes propose to enforce something like that?
That's where the second pillar comes in, the intellectual property shield. There is no need to wait around for new laws. Instead, CARICOM countries could issue an immediate declaration that bulk AI scraping isn't automatically permitted just because data is public. This is then followed by what she calls the sovereign nexus principle in her proposal.
What does that principle actually mean in practice?
It means if tech companies want access to Caribbean archives, they need to show how they're contributing to regional development. It's about creating leverage for negotiation rather than just saying no to everything.
You mentioned three pillars. What's the third one about?
The third pillar is probably the most practical. Dr. Innes is calling it thin layer co-pilots. Instead of trying to build massive AI infrastructure, she proposes focusing on small, targeted AI deployments that can show immediate benefits.
Could you give some specific examples of how that would work?
Sure, think about customs officers using AI to automatically classify imports and exports, or intellectual property offices using AI to streamline patent searches. These are relatively small projects that can deliver quick wins without requiring massive investment.
That's actually quite smart, starting with practical applications that can demonstrate value quickly.
And here's what makes it even more interesting. Dr. Innes is proposing something called contextual accuracy reports from any AI system being sold in the region. These reports have to prove the AI understands and accurately represents Caribbean culture and institutions.
How exactly would they verify something like that?
The AI vendors would need to demonstrate their training data includes proper Caribbean representation and doesn't perpetuate stereotypes or historical inaccuracies. It's about ensuring cultural integrity alongside technological advancement.
This whole approach could really change how smaller nations engage with AI development.
That's exactly right. And what's particularly clever is how this proposal is approaching sovereignty. It's not about building walls, it's about having the capacity to engage with the global AI economy on more equal terms.
Do you think other regions might adopt similar approaches?
This formulation could work quite well for other small states as well. This proposed Caribbean model shows how you can build sovereignty incrementally, starting with practical steps, rather than trying to compete head to head with tech giants immediately.
What do you think the timeline looks like for seeing real results?
Some aspects, like the IP Shield Declaration, could happen almost immediately. The modular AI deployments could show results within months. The bigger structural changes might take longer, but they can start laying the groundwork now.
It really feels like we're watching a new model of digital sovereignty being created in real time.
And that's what makes this so exciting. The Caribbean, in adopting this policy proposal, can show that you don't need to be a tech superpower to have agency in the AI age. You just need to be strategic and unified in your approach. It's a potential blueprint for how smaller nations can protect their digital future. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Insights in Caribbean Intellectual Property. Please follow us wherever you listen to this podcast so that we can let you know when there's a new episode. If you listen to us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.